Okay, hello guys, and welcome to spotoer's sharing class about the CCIE routing and switch lab troubleshooting. And for the last 2 weeks, we talk about the OSPF protocol. We just talk about the writing exam, and also we talk about the troubleshooting. And for this week, we will talk about the troubleshooting about the BGP protocol. Actually, the OSPF and the BGP protocol are two very important protocol for the routing and switch. Yes, and before our today's class, I want to remind you the time about the Cisco's change. And we still know that from today to the update time, we still have almost more than 100 days. And we still have enough time to get your CCNSS MPLS CCIE certificate. And also, I hope you can get your own certificate before the update. And then if you want to get more information, and if you want to get the material from our spotoer, you just need to find us on the Facebook and the YouTube, and it's very easy to find us. You just need to search the spotoer CCIE Club on the Facebook and search spotoer on YouTube to follow us, and we will continue to provide the free live courses about the Cisco certificate. Okay, so don't forget to follow us. And then for our today's live class, we mainly talk about the troubleshooting of the TS1. It's a version 1 of the troubleshooting. Actually, it's the configuration 1. And it's about the BGP protocol. So we need to know what's the BGP protocol and some knowledge of the BGP protocol. And also we need to know how to find the fault and how to quickly change the fault. Okay, so that's about our today's live class. And first of all, we can see this topology here. Actually, for this topology is the troubleshooting exam of the CCIE certificate. And for this part, actually, if you watch our spotoer's live class last 2 weeks, you will find this area. Okay, for this area, this two actually is AS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This area is the troubleshooting of the OSPF. For the last 2 weeks, we just need to find the faults about the OSPF, and we need to find the faults and remove the faults about the OSPF. We just fixed it. And for this week, we need to have another area, is this area, and also for the AS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the protocol is different, is the BGP protocol. So actually, we need to know that the OSPF protocol is the inter-AS protocol. It means the OSPF will be used within one AS. So we can find this in the AS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will use the OSPF protocol to let the protocol can calculate and generate the routes, so that in this AS, the different routers can learn and calculate the routes so that they can communicate with each other. So we can see that in AS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have one OSPF protocol, and this OSPF protocol, we divide it into area 0 and area 1 here. And but for the BGP protocol, we know that it's called the exterior gateway protocol. It means the BGP protocol, we need to use it between the different AS. So we can see it from this topology. We have this AS 10001. Maybe this is AS1, and this one is AS2 here. So the BGP protocol, we need to use it between the different AS so that the routes from the AS1 can be sent to AS2. So also AS2 can send the route to AS1 here. So first of all, we need to know the BGP protocol actually is the EGP protocol. Okay, and for the OSPF protocol actually is the IGP protocol. We need to use it within one AS, but EGP we need to use it between the different AS. And for the BGP protocol, actually we have two different relationships. Because we have two different relationships. We can see here between the R26 and R21, between R26 and R22, they are the eBGP protocol. Because these two routers are in the different AS, so that it's called the exterior BGP neighbor relationship. But for the routers in the one AS, for this AS, and these routers maybe R21 and R3 and also R3 with R6, they are the iBGP protocol. So for the BGP protocol, actually we have two different relationships, is the eBGP and the iBGP. So eBGP means these two routers are in the different AS, but the iBGP means these two routers are in the same AS. Actually, so for this topology, we have two different AS, and we run the BGP protocol to let the different AS can send and learn the rules so that they can communicate with each other. And then we have four different requirements for this topology. So we need to check it. So first of all, R22. When R22 try to visit 194.1.1.1, we have this path. This path is just like this. And we can see here R22 visit this network segment, and we can see here. Okay, so R22 is here and the destination is here. So if, sorry, I remove it. Okay, so this is the source R22 and the destination is number 1 here. So when R22 tries to visit it, we can see here the first path is the load balance, and it means these two routers we can both select it. So R22 can send packet to both R4 and R6. And also we can see here for the next one, we can see the path is use the label. So it means when R4 and R6 try to send the packet through this area, this area. And actually we know that this area is the MPLS network, so that this packet will be forwarded according to the label. So that we can see here is the 767.9 and .13 here. So we can check here. Actually for this one is this path and this path. Yes, these two paths, and also R4 can send it to this one and R6 can send it to this one. Okay, so next is the 61 is this path, and this path is 18 here. So for R1, actually we have two paths here, the first one and the second one, but we need to let the R1 can select the next one, this one. It means R1 will send the packet to R5 here, and for the next one is 42 here is this path. Okay, it's this path, and then also send it to this one, so we can achieve the destination. So actually the path is just like this. When we achieve the R1, so R1 will select the R5 for the next hop. So it's the first requirement. So we try to achieve this aim. So actually we can directly go to the experiment to do this. Okay, so we just go to the experiment, and we can see here. Okay, for our spotoer cloud lab, so we can see here we have the same topology and the same configuration here. So first of all, we can see here we have the topology just like this one, and we have the output is this port. This output is same in the PowerPoint. So we try to achieve this aim. So first of all, I think we need to check the neighbor relationship between the different routers. Okay, so we need to check the neighbor relationship. So first of all, we can check the R21 here. So is the source. So first of all, we check the R21 here. Okay. Yeah, and this. So we need to check it to show IP BGP summary. So we can check the neighbor here. So we can find here. Actually, for this one is wrong here. Yes, the neighbor between the R22 and this one 76.45 is wrong here. So we can see here the neighbor is relationship is not up. So we need to try to find the problem. So we need to check the configuration of the R21 here. So running config section about the BGP. We need to check the configuration of the BGP protocol. So we can see here for the configuration of the BGP protocol, we have one command just like this, the neighbor 123.45.67.45. We shut down it, so we need to no shut down this neighbor. So we need to go to this view and no shut down this. This one, the command is the router BGP, and then no shut down this one. No shut down. I just need to copy it. So remove it, and actually we can see it. The neighbor with R4 is up now. Yes, it's normal. The neighbor relationship between these two routers is okay here. So next we check the another routers here. So maybe the R4 here, we can check it. So we can check R4 here. So we need to check each routers in this topology. So show IP BGP summary. Actually, we can find here the R4, the neighbor relationship between R4 and the I5 is neighbor. Yes, and we can see it the status is down. So we need to check the so show wrong. We just need to check the configuration. So we can see here for the R4's configuration, we can see here between R4 and R5, we can check it. Neighbor is this one. The remote AS is right, and the update source we need to configure it. If we want these two routers establish the neighbor relationship with the loopback interface, we need to use this command. So don't forget it. And then actually we can see here the neighbor 5.5.5 is active and next hop self actually is right. So we go to the R5 here and check it. We just go to R5 and check it. So we need to know now if the configuration about the R4 is right. So we must do some run configuration in R5. So we check R5 here, section BGP, and we can find here neighbor 4.4.4.4. Actually we use the group here, and it's the IBGP group, and then we can find here this command. We just no neighbor this one active, so we need to remove this command. So we need to use this one, neighbor 123.4.4.4 command active. Okay, then the router BGP actually use this command to active the neighbor relationship. Okay, to activate. Okay, then we can find here between these two routers the neighbor relationship is normal now, and then we continue to check it between an R6 here, R6 to the device, and use the same command show IP BGP summary. So we can check it. Actually, all the relationship is okay here, and for the so we can see here for this topology, we can see here. And for this topology, this R3 and the R5 are the reflector here. So we just need to establish the relationship between R3 and R6 and R4 with R5 here. So between R1 and R2, we don't need these two routers to establish the neighbor relationship. So we don't need to check the BGP relationship in these two routers. So we just check the R3 here. R3 use a command to enter the and check it. So IP BGP summary. IP BGP summary. And then we can find all the neighbor is normal here, and we continue to R5 here. We just change the configuration with R5, and we also need to check it. Show IP BGP summary here. So we can find actually all the neighbor is okay here, and for the R21 here, okay, and between these three routers, we can go back to this topology, and these three routers actually they are the eBGP relationship, and R25, 26, and R21 they are the eBGP, and also these two routers are the eBGP neighbor relationship, but these two routers are the iBGP. Okay, so we need to know this it's different within one AS they are the iBGP, between the different AS they are the eBGP. Okay, so we continue to check it. Just use the same command, show IP BGP summary. Okay, so we can see here it's all wrong in the right situation, and next one is this one. So IP BGP summary. Actually, this one is okay here, but for this part we don't need to consider it, because in this topology we don't need to change the configuration about this neighbor, because it's not in the BGP part. Okay, so for this one 26 here, sorry. So actually for this roster maybe the secret is not right, but actually the neighbor between these three routers are the same, so we don't need to change the configuration of these routers. Okay, so it will not affect the troubleshooting about this part. Okay, so we can ignore this part. Okay, so this is the first step. We need to check all the neighbor relationship between these different routers, and then we find two questions here. The first one is that on the these routers, the R20, R12 here. So we need to remove the command called the no neighbor. And this one, we need to remove this command, remove this one. And for the next one is the R5 here. For the R5, we just inactive the neighbor between the R5 and R4. We can find these two false. So next we try to check the source routers to check the IP route, to check the routing table. So do show IP route here. So we can find here destination. Our destination is this one here. As this part, our destination is the 194.1.1.1. So we can find here for the first requirement and for the first hop, we can see here is the load balance. For the R12 here, it can select R4 and R6 at the same time. So for this router's routing table, we can see it is not achieve the aim of the load balance. So we can check the configuration about the GP protocol. So we can check it. So we just need to check the configuration of the BGP protocol and check it, and then we will find we need to enable the function of the load balance of these routers, because for the BGP protocol it will not enable the function of the load balance, so that if the R12 can learn the two same routers from R4 and R6, but the R12 will select maybe this one and this one is the optimal path, so that we need to enable the function of the load balance. So we just need to use the command is the maximum path, and we just need to select 2 here. The maximum path is 2. So after we do this command, enable the load balance, and we need to check it to show IP route here. So we can find here. Actually, for the destination is this one, is this port, and we can find here. Actually, we can learn 2 same routes from the R4 and the 6 here. Actually, this path is the same. So we try to check it. We try to check, can we fill the requirements? So the requirements just like this, just to transroute the destination. Okay, we just transroute here. This port, just to transroute dot one, sorry, dot one, and port is 2 here. So we can find here. Actually, something wrong with the path here. Something wrong with the path. We can't find the packet will be forwarded by the label here. So back to this topology, we just talk this. From this area, we need to enable the MPLS protocol so that we need to check the configuration about the R1 and the R2. So maybe something wrong with the configuration of these routers about the MPLS. So we need to check it. Actually, so we can see here for the for these 2 routers. Actually, for these 2 routers, actually for these 2 routers, we don't enable the MPLS IP function. So we need to configure it in the interface here. So for the R1, we need to interface E1/1 here and use the command MPLS IP, and also E2/1 here, the MPLS IP. Actually, for the R2, it's the same. We need to enable the MPLS IP function for these 2 interface, E1/0 and 2/0. Okay, we go to these routers and use the command just interface the corresponding interface E/1/0 and MPLS IP, and interface 2/0 and MPLS IP here. Okay, so after we do this, we just enable the MPLS IP function of these 2 routers so that we can check it again. So for the R22 here, we can check it. So we can find for the second hop and the third hop, we can find we will use the MPLS label to forward the packet. So we can check the requirements and compare it with our real device here. So we need to compare it. So the first one is these 2 routers actually is the same, and the 930 here use the label, and next one is 76.1 here, and next hop is 18, and next hop is 42 and 40 here. So actually, after we do this configuration, we can fill the first requirements about the R1 to the destination 194.1.1.1. Actually, we use the same path with the output 1. So we can go to the next output. The next output is the 134.21.21.21. Actually, it's this. So we can see here from this topology, actually the second destination is the loopback interface of the R21 here, is the loopback interface. And we can see the path here. The first one R22 try to visit the loopback interface. The first hop is the R6 here. We can see here is the 46. So it means the first hop is the I can't remove it. No. So the first path is the R6 here. And for the next one, we can see it. Next one is the 13 here. So 13 is this one, and the next one is dot 1 here. Dot 1 and dot 6. Dot 6. So it means the path will be like this one. So I select another color here. So for the second requirement, the path will be like this one here. Yeah, sorry, just like this one. The path just like this one, R22, R12 here, and R6, R2, R1, R3, and R21 here. This is the path. So we can see, go back to the 21 here. We just go back to the 21 and keep it, go to 21 and just show the topology here. Sorry, just show the route here. So show IP route here. So we can find for the IP route, the destination is this one. Yes, it's 121.21 is this one. And actually we can see here, this router we learn it from the actually this one is the R4 here. Actually, yes, it's 45. We can check it from the topology. Actually it's the 41, so it means the R12 will learn the route from R21 through R4 here. So actually the first hole we need to let the R12 can send it, R12 can send it to R6 here. So actually for the R12 we need to change it. We need to let the source can learn the route from R6, not R4. So we can check this. So we just need to check it. The show IP BGP. So we can see here. Actually, it's the same. We learn it from this one. Actually, we can learn two routes here. We can see here we learn two routes, but the metric is different here. So we can see here. So the first one, the R12 will learn the route from R4 with the metric is 200, but this one is 500. So it means we go back to this topology. So So when R4 sends the packet to R12 here, the metric is 200, and when R6 sends it to 12, the metric is the 500. So R12 will select this one as the optimal path, so that we need to change the metric in these two different routers. So we need to change the R6, the metric of R6, we need to change it to 100, that's less than the metric of R4 here. Okay, so we need to check it, and we need to check it and change it here. Okay, so for the R4 here, we go back to R4 and check the configuration here. Check it. So run. First check all the configuration about the BGP here. We can see here for the BGP protocol, when the R4 try to export the route, we can see here we have a route policy, a route map called MED here. And also for the R6, we can find it. For R6 here, we check it. R6, and we use for the R6, we just check it. Actually, it's the same command. It's the section BGP. So we can see here we just have the also we will use a roadmap called MED, and then we just need to check it. The MED show run section MED here. So we can find here we have a prefix list 164 here, and we just set the metric to 500. We can see it 500, and then we use the same command in the R4 here. For the same command for this one, we check it, and also we can see it for this prefix list. We set the metric to 200, and then next we need to check the list. Okay, to ensure this prefix list is used to match the destination network segment 134 here. We need to ensure it. So show ROM section list. Okay. So we can see here the list 134. We will match the prefix 100.0.0 with the mask length is 8 here. Actually, it's right. So we need to use this command. Sorry, this one. For this command. Sorry, this one. And in R6, also the same command. Also, we need to ensure the prefix list actually is right. Yes, this prefix is used to match our destination. So actually for R6, we just need to change this metric. Yes, change this metric to the value which is less than the 1200. Okay. So, sorry, 200, less than the 200. T, and use the command is this one. And just need to set the metric set metric to 100. Okay, we just need to set this metric to 100, and then we can go back to 12 here. So for this device, actually the original metric of the root which is learned from R6 is 500, but we just change it to 100. So we can see it here. So IP BGP here. So actually we need to clear the configuration. Sorry. 6. I need to check. Okay. Okay, we need to check the configuration and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to clear all the BGP rules from the R6 here. So we use the command is we can clear it. So we need to reestablish the neighbor relationship and reset the root here. Okay, so after we change it, we go back to R12 here and check it. Sorry. So we need to wait a second. Let the R6 can send the root to R12 here. Okay, so maybe our configuration is wrong here, so we need to recheck it to R6 here and check it again. So ROM and section MED here, we need to recheck it. And we can find here we changed the wrong configuration. We just change this one. So we just change this one. It's not the right one. We need to change the node 2 here. So the root, config T, and this one here. And this one is right. And set the metric. And set the metric is 100. This metric is 100. So actually for the last command, we just change this one. So actually it's wrong here. So we need to change this one. It's not this one. So we go back to R12 here and change it and check it again here. Okay, so we need to use the command to let it re-update it. So check it again. The metric of the prefix 134, we set the metric to 100, and we check it again here. Actually, after we change it, we need to wait a second here. So we can see here, finally, after we do the right configuration, we can see here for this command, we can still learn two routers, two routes here, but for this time, the routes from the R6 is the right, the metric is 100, but for the R5 is 1200. So actually for this path, the R12 will select the R6 here. So we can see here for the R12, we just use the command to show IP route here. So we can see here, if the destination is the if the destination is this one is this part, we can see here the next hop will be the R6 here. The next hop will be R6. So after we do this configuration, we can use the command to check the requirements to transroute is 132.12. This one. So we can find here this path, and we can check it here to compare the path here. So we can find here the first one is 46 here, and next one is 30, and 1638 here. So actually we can fill this requirement here. So we can fill this requirement, and for the next one, the next path actually is the 123.3.3 here. So actually we can find here, we can directly use the command to transroute the destination. The destination is 123 here, .3.3.3, and the port is port 2 here. So we can find here, actually, after we change the configuration of the R6 here, so we can both fill the requirements of the R2 and the R3 here. Yes? Okay, so we can find here, after we change the configuration of the R6, we can both fill these two requirements. So it means we just has the last one is the output 4 here. We just need to transroute the destination of this one here is the add.add.add. So we can directly use the command to transroute it. Okay, to transroute add.add.add, and the port is 2 here. So we can directly compare it. So we fill this requirement here. So we can compare it. Is this one actually the same? But for this one, for this part is it, and for our experiment, we'll select 18 here and the 42 and the 70 here. But for the requirement, we need to select the 6, 38, and 6 and the destination here. So actually we can't fill the last requirement, and also we need to continue our configuration. Okay, so we can go back to the topology here. Okay, we'll go back to the topology, and we can find here for this topology here. So for the last requirement, the last 4 hops is 6, 38, 6. So we can see here for this one, it's 6, 38, and 6 here. So it means when R12 tries to visit the server add.add.add, so we need to select the upper path from the R3 and R12. But for our experiment, we will select the next one. So we can find we will select the 18 and 42 and 40 here. So actually we select the next path. So we need to change it here. Okay, so we go back to this experiment. We need to check it. So we directly went to the R6 and R4 here. So we check the rules about the destination. So we just need to use the command show IP route here. So we can find here from R4 the destination network segment is add.add.add, and we learn this route from this one. So it means R4 learn it from R12 here, and also R6 we can check it here. Actually, it's the same. Show IP route here. Show IP route. So we can find here the destination with the at, and we learn it from R12 here, and also we continue to check R3 and R5 here. So for this one, check it for this route we can see here. Also for R3 we learn the route from R22 here, and for R5 actually is the same. It's the same. Actually we can find here R5 still learn the route from R22 here. So actually we can see here from this topology, for this topology, and we think if we in the right configuration, it means these 4 different routers can learn the destination route with the server, and I think these 4 routers can both learn the route from R21 and R22, but in this situation we can just learn the route from R22. So I think we must do some wrong configuration of the R21 here. So we must do some wrong configuration. So we need to check the configuration of the R21 here. So we go back to the R21 and to check it. Actually, this part, these routers, and for the R21 here, sorry, R21. Okay, so we go to check the configuration of the BGP protocol, the show run section BGP here. So we need to check first we check the configuration of the BGP protocol. So we can find here for these neighbors, the R3, R5, and we use the peer group here, but I think here we forgot one command called the peer this group the next hop self. We just forgot this command, so that for these routers when they learn the routers here, so we can see here for R3 for R3 the IP BGP here, so IP BGP. So we can see here for add.add.add, we can't learn the right route from R22 because the next hop is invalid. Yes, we can't use the next hop, this next hop, to achieve the server, so that we can use the command in R21 here to let the routers can use the right next hop to achieve the server. So we need to use the command the router BGP, this one, and just use the command the neighbor peer, this one, this neighbor, this is the group name of this peer, is the PER, is the just the name, and then is the next hop self. Just use this command to try to fix it. So after we do this configuration, we can see that so we can just check the configuration of the R3 here. So we can check it, show IP route. So for this one, we can see here, for this part, when R3 learn the server's network route, so we can find here the next hop is R22 here. It's not R22 here. It's R21. Sorry, it's R21 here, because we just change the next hop of the R21. We try to change it to itself. So the R3, these 4 routers will consider the next hop is valid. So it will select this path, the upper path, as the optimal path. So we can solve these problems, and after we solve these problems, we can continue to check this one. So when we do the this one is the R22 here. And when we do the configuration, and we can see here for the R22 and for this command, this all the configuration, all the BGP configuration of the R22 here. And we can also see here we just use a root map is the MED map here. So we can check the configuration of the MED map. So show IP, sorry, it's show run, and the section is MED here. We can check the configuration of the MED. So we can find here, and for the for this routers, we can find for this route map, we just use the command to permit the prefix of the 196, and we set the metric is 100 here. We set the metric as 100. So we find this one, and after we do this configuration, we can first check the requirement here. For this one, the requirement is just like this, so we can use the source is R12 here and use to check it. So we can find here, after we check it, we can use here actually the output is the same with the requirement. So we can find here the first three is the same, but for the first one, the fifth one, and the sixth one, it will select the upper path here. Yes, it will select the upper path, so that we can fill this different outputs here. For the output 1, we just need to enable the load balance and enable the MPLS IP of this router, so that we can fill the requirements of the output 1. And for the output 2 and output 3, we just need to change the metric. When R4 and R6 try to advertise the route to R12 here, so we need to set the right metric. We need to let the R6 advertise the route with the less value to R12 here. So R12 will select this one as the optimal path. So after we change the metric from 500 to 100, so R12 will select this one, so that we can fill these two requirements, the output 2 and the output 3 here. And for the next one is the actually is the last one. And for the last one here, so we can see here for the last one, the destination is the server. And for the R21, if we don't use the command, the peer group next hop serve. So for this routers, when they learn the routes from R21, it will think this route is, we can't use this route because the next hop is invalid. We can't access to this next hop. So we need to use the command, the next hop serve, so that when R12 tries to visit the server, it will select the upper path. Okay, so that we can fill these 4 different requirements here. Okay, so next one we can go back to the R12 here. So we will find one phenomenon here. So if we try to transroute the first one, is the first one 126.1.1.1 and the port is 2 here. So we can find here. So we just find the problem with the first output, but after we do all the configuration and we go back to the first one, we can see here, actually it's different. Yes, we can find here, it's different. Yes, it's different because for the second part, when we try to fix the problem of the output 1, output 2, and output 3 here, we just change the metric. We just change the raw metric. Yes, so do you remember this? I changed the raw metric. But the true problem of this part actually is for the R21 here. So we just need to check this for the R21 here. We can find this one. We can just use the command is show run and section list. We can see it here. When we try to use the prefix list 194 to match the destination address 194.1.1.1, but for this list we don't use this list to match the network segment. We match another network segment. Actually, it's the wrong configuration. So we need to use the command to match the right network segment. So actually, for this one, it's still wrong here. So if you can't find this one, maybe think we fill the output 1, we fill the output 2, 3, 4. But if you don't check back to the output 1, you will not find this problem. So when we try to go back to output 1, we will find these problems, and we need to change this configuration of the R21 here. We just use this command. We need to let the prefix list, prefix list, and this one is 194, and we just add a new sequence about permit to match the destination is 194.0.0.0, and the mask length is the here. The mask length we just use length is 8. Okay, and the less than 12 here. So actually, this is the last point. We need to let the R21 can match the destination of the 194.0.0, and we change the we change the local preference. We change the local preference which is less than the. We can see it here. The show is the roadmap called LP show IP show run section LP here. So we can see here we use this prefix list and then we just set the local preference. So this local preference is 99 here, so that the 22 will send the network segment with 100. So this one is the optimal, and actually for R21 we select this one as the optimal path, so that we just use this prefix to match the destination 194 in R21 here, so that the R12 can select this one as the optimal path. So actually this one is the this point is the difficult point in this part. Okay, so when you try to do the Cisco certificate, you need to check it. So maybe you think you fill all the output, you fill all the requirements, but you need to go back and check it again to make sure you do the right configuration. Okay, so this part is very typical. So you can find here you need to go back to the output 1 to ensure it, and then you will find the fault here. Okay, so actually that's all for our today's experiment about the BGP protocol, and we can find here BGP protocol is much difficult than the OSPF. Actually OSPF is easy, but for the BGP you will find we have much work to do it. Okay, so that's all the knowledge about today's live class. And then the next one also we need to talk about the exam here. So we can find here actually for the last several weeks we just talk the exam, the position of the destination. The exam center actually is very nervous here, so I suggest you need to take your time to book the exam. Maybe it's very hard to book the exam, but if you want to get it, you need to check the information and take your time to book it as soon as possible. Okay, so if you want to find the information about the certificate, and also if you're trying to find the information about the exam center, so you can use this link to add our WeChat group. For this group we have different students all around the world, and also we have our spotoer teacher which can provide you some free information about this one, and also we can provide you the exam material to help you pass the exam. Okay, so we can find here. So if you want to get your CCIE certificate, and actually it's very hard to book the exam, and we know that for the CCIE certificate, actually for the routing and switch, for the security and the data center are very famous and are very popular. Maybe most of you wants to get this 3 checks certificate, but we can see here from now to the update time to the next year February, so maybe it's very hard to book the exam, but you can select another one. So maybe I suggest you can select the service provider, the wireless, and for these 2 tracks. Actually for the SP for the SP sorry for the SP track, we can see here actually the SP is the internet service provider. Actually, it's the carrier's network, and for the typical CCIE routing and switch is the enterprise network. Actually, it's different, but also they are very similar. For the knowledge for the key points of these 2 CCIE certificates are very similar. And also, why I suggest you to get this certificate, because the writing test is stable and the amount of the question is small. It means maybe the amount of the question is just 200, but for the CCIE maybe it's 1000. So just like this one, it's very small. The amount of the SP is very small. And also, if you want to get the service provider certificate, you need to pass the configuration. Yes, but for the SP configuration, actually we have 2 seats of configuration, but we only use 1 seat node. So it means you just need to prepare 1 configuration here. So actually, if you just want to get the CCIE certificate between the update, actually the SP, the service provider, is the best choice for you to get your own CCIE certificate. So actually you can learn the knowledge of the routing and switch, and also you can save your time to get your CCIE certificate. So I recommend you to get this CCIE. Actually it's very useful. And then actually for the next one is if you want to get this information, and also you want to get more suggestion about the CCIE certificate, you can use this link to achieve the to join our WeChat group. Okay. Okay, so actually that's all for our today's live class. And for this for the last part, I also want to remind you, don't forget to follow us for the Facebook and the YouTube, and you just need to search it. It's very easy. And spotoer will continue to provide the free live class. So I hope I can meet you at the same time in the next week. Okay, so thank you very much.